Hi guys, so I'm going to do an example problem on your homework for tonight as we are introducing how to multiply a fraction by a fraction and using a visual model in order to do that. So remember in class we were using tracing paper, and now we're going to start using highlighters in just one square because you guys have seen how the papers stack up and how to line up all of the different lines to be able to find your answer. So now we're going to start showing that model on one square of regular paper. Now we're still going to use colors. I highly suggest using highlighter or marker this time and using two distinct colors where they'll change. So I usually will do a red and a blue to see like a purplish color. Just make sure they're very different so you can tell the difference between the two. Okay? So what we do first is we have to show the first fraction. Okay, and this is like we did when we first started learning about fractions. All you do is you cut the box and then you shade in however many it tells you to. So in the fraction 3/4, remember the bottom number tells us how many pieces to cut it into. So I need to cut my box into 4 pieces. Okay? Remember we always start first going up and down. Remember it's not going to be perfect, but try your best to get the pieces as equal as possible. Okay? I'm going to start with my pink. And I need to shade 3/4 of the box. So that means all I have to do is I need to take this box and I'm just going to shade in 3 of the 4 pieces. And remember, we don't shade randomly. We start from the left and we move right. Your shading is going to look a lot nicer than mine, but make sure you take your time so that you can see the whole box that's shaded. Okay, now that's the easy part. The second part is where it can get confusing. Okay, so what we do is we need to kind of pretend that none of this is there. Kind of ignore the pink, ignore the lines that we've already drawn. And now we're going to look at the second fraction of 1/3. Okay, now remember we already drew our lines up and down, so this time we're going to draw them the opposite way, going side to side. Okay, pretending none of this is here. Ignore all the colors, ignore the lines. How many pieces would I need to break the box into? Well, look at that denominator, and it's a 3. So that means going this way, I'm going to break my box into 3 equal pieces. Now, I'm going to use this side because it's kind of clean to be able to see. But if I were to do 3 pieces, those are about equal. And then what I'll do is I'll just continue the lines all the way down into my colored area. Okay, and then remember we look at the numerator to check how many pieces we need to shade. And in this case, we only need to shade 1/3. Now remember, I'm going to ignore the colors first, and I'm just going to look here. If I'm going to shade 1/3, I'm only going to shade one of the boxes in. And remember, we start from the top and we work our way down. So here's one of the boxes shaded. Remember, I've got to do the whole thing, so I'm going to extend it into my colored area. Making sure to only do this piece. Okay. So, to find the answer, remember what we do is first we count up how many boxes are double shaded or have the overlapping colors. And that's why it's nice to pick 2 different colors like pink and blue or red and blue, because the color will change into a purpley color. So if we look here, I've got 1, 2, 3 boxes that are shaded in the purple color. That's my numerator. The denominator is how many pieces total are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That means my answer is 3/12. And we can check that because we know that when we multiply a fraction times a fraction, all we do is we multiply the top 2 numbers together. 3 times 1 is 3. And then we multiply the bottom 2 numbers together. 4 times 3 is 12. Now the only added thing, because we know we're 5th graders and we can do it, is we need to be able to simplify. Okay, so remember there's 2 ways. You can use GCF or you can just think about it. What number can go into both 3 and 12? I'm going to do the GCF way because some of us are still struggling with that. Remember with GCF we do, what numbers can I multiply together to get to this? Well, I know with 3 it's just 1 times 3. With 12 I can do 1 times 12. I can also do 2 times 6. And I can do 3 times 4. Circle the ones that are common. And I need the biggest number that's common. And if we look here, that's going to be the 3. So what that means is I can divide both the top and bottom by 3. to get a simplified fraction. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my answer that is simplified is 1/4. All right, and that's multiplying fraction by a fraction.